you guys getting ready to do your clinical fellowship interviews, don't be nervous. Remember, you got this. You've gotten so far, and this is just the last step. You can do it. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jasmine if you didn't know, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about 10 common questions you're likely to hear during your next clinical fellowship interview. So I want this video to be a tool for you guys, so feel free to pause this video after each question in order to practice your own personalized answers. So getting right into the video, let's talk about question number 1. Tell me about your clinical experience. This is probably the easiest question that you're going to get during a CF interview because all you have to do is name the things that you've already done. So what I would do for this question is look back to your resume, figure out a way to condense all of the things that you've experienced to make it a nice, short and sweet answer, but making sure that it includes the variety of experience that you have. Question number 2, why are you interested in this position or this company? For this question, I would talk about the different demographic that they have, whether that's kids, adults, a specific specialty that they have. They want to know that that's something you're interested in. Maybe there was something online that you found out about this particular company that really raised your interest over some other companies. The key here is to find something that interests you about this place, about the population you'd be working with, that is beyond the fact that you just needed a job, right? So find something specific to talk about that is important to this company and important to you. So question number 3, what do you want to have accomplished by the end of your CF period? Your CF is your last bit of supervision, and so it's very important to think about the things that you want to gain by the time you're finished. Whether that's you want to be able to do feeding therapy, you want to be better with children because you didn't get a lot of experience with children in grad school. Whatever your reason, whatever areas of growth you want to visit, those are the things you're going to want to include in this answer. And I mean, that's something you should already be thinking about. What do you want to gain from this experience anyway? So pretty easy question. Just feel like you have some practice with making your goals sound very specific and also maybe include how you would like to achieve those goals. Question number 4. Tell me about a time that you had to deal with a difficult coworker or supervisor and tell me how you handled it. This is a great question to talk about problem-solving skills. So people who are interviewing you for your CF want to know that you are able to problem solve through different problems because it's very likely, almost inevitable, that regardless of where you work, you're going to have a team and you're going to have a boss. And it's very likely as well that you're not always going to get along or see eye to eye on things. So they want to know that you have some problem-solving skills. So pick maybe one experience and talk about how you handled that experience and what you would do in the future going forward. Question number 5, tell me about yourself. This is a common question regardless of what thing you're interviewing for. People always want to know about you. So the best way I have found to answer this question is to pick very interesting experiences that have led me up to this point in this interview for my CF fellowship. Everyone knows that you have classes, everyone knows that you went to grad school, but what made your experience special? What made this experience specifically tailored to you? Those are the types of things that you want to include in this question. Question number 6, what is your experience with working with different disciplines? This is typically a question for medical or outpatient, private practice type settings. However, I think it's kind of an important question to answer regardless of where you are applying for. So if you're working in a school, you will be working with teachers. If you're in a private practice like me, there's a good chance you could be working with OTs, PTs. You really never know who you're going to interact with. So pick an experience in which you've worked with an other discipline. And if you don't have that experience, don't feel too stressed about this question. You can easily say, well, I honestly haven't had that experience. However, in the event that I had that experience, this is how I would handle that situation. Question number 7, what demographic are you interested in and why? So this is a pretty easy question. You probably know what you're interested in and why you're interested in it, right? But for someone like me, for example, I work in a pediatric clinic. Coming out of grad school, I had a lot of interest in the adult population. And so it's nice to be honest, but it's also nice to include the population that you're applying for. If this is genuinely a job that you're interested in, even if you are very interested in an opposite population, it's also super important to talk about the demographic that you'd likely be working with and why you would be interested in working with that demographic. Question number 8. What standardized tests or treatment programs are you most familiar with? So this is a great question because every place that you're working with is going to have a number of tests that they're already using or a number of programs that they're already using. They want to know if you're familiar with those programs or if maybe you have something new to bring to the table. So just like figuring out your clinical experience, this is a great time to write down and figure out all of the different things that you've already had some experience with. Write down those assessments that you know how to give. Write down those programs that maybe you had training for. That's a great time to brain dump all of those things in a nice succinct way for this question. Question number 9. Tell me about a memorable or difficult patient. This is a very important question because they want to know about your experience with working with patients because, as you know, that is the main part of our job. So whether it's a memorable patient that you worked with, what made them so memorable, why did you love them, how did you interact with that person? If it was a difficult person, how did you overcome those difficulties and how did that help you learn for future patients that you've seen? Question number 10, what questions do you have for me? You want to make sure that your clinical fellowship is going to be a great fit for you. So it's nice to have some questions to ask your supervisor, the person interviewing you, about the place that you're going to spend 9 to 12 months of your future life. So make sure you write down some questions that you feel are important to know for your clinical fellowship position. I will be doing another video on the top 10 questions that I feel like have been important to ask for my clinical fellowship and any other fellowship that I applied for. If you have any questions to ask or add, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, and feel free to subscribe for more amazing content. But until my next video, peace.